Welcome everyone to the IWM broadcast of the Super Speedway Kings, and tonight we are at Atlanta. I'm Rick Souza, joined here in the booth with my co-host Jeff Nini. And Jeff, Atlanta.
I love this track. It's maybe you call it a short track for super speedways, but it races like a super speedway, but it doesn't have near the length of Daytona or Talladega. But these guys are going to put on a show tonight. It's a little tougher to drive, I think, than Daytona and Talladega, but these guys are going to give us a course tonight, I think.
Well, looking forward to it. So tonight here in Atlanta, it's a mile-and-a-half track that, after the repaving and the redo of this track, it drives like a super speedway. And with these guys, we'll see definitely two wide here at Atlanta. So let's talk about tonight. Let's go over the race facts for tonight's event.
And there you have it. 65 degrees out there right now. This is going to be a 94-lap race, which sounds longer than normal, but they go by pretty quickly since this track's considerably shorter. 2 quick repairs tonight. We're running about 68% full fuel. 1 qualifying lap, pit road speed at 55. They've got unlimited tires and the possibility of 3 green-white checkers should we need them.
All right, so qualifying is getting close to wrapping up. Number of times are in now. Let's get the best time show in there. That's your top 7 that's in now. Let's see who else is on the track, who's out there qualifying.
Look how close those times are. Man. Top 2, 31.78 with Eric Laurie and Gabe Butler. And then Zachary Workman is 1/100th of a second slower at 31.79.
And really, when you look at right now what's posted, it's fractions of a second. So.
Yeah, it really is. 2 tenths between, even less than that, probably a tenth and a half between first and 7th right now. We'll see where everybody else shakes out.
So Dude Conrad is on track now, and he's finishing up his qualifying times.
Yeah, he popped in there at 8th. Just again, whoa.
Popped in is probably a good word. A little bit.
I spoke that too soon. Boy, that's tough to do that during qualifying. But fortunately, that won't cost him one of his quick repairs. The trucks will reset at the end of qualifying. Everybody starts with a fresh vehicle. But everybody under 32 seconds right now in that high 31 bracket. There's Brian Rainville. We've talked about Brian several times in the broadcast. Every now and then he will be texting us from his truck, telling us what's going on in the race. He's kind of like our in-race correspondent. We'll see if we hear from Brian.
Yeah, we sure did. In fact, 2 seconds ago, Brian entered into the YouTube chat and said, "Evening, gents." So Brian is paying attention like he usually does and feeding us some information that's out there. So I think right now qualifying has ended, and who is has not officially qualified will be populated by the by our starting grid automatically by iRacing, and so we'll get a look at the grid in a second. And let's bring up that grid here. All right, there we go. There's our grid for tonight.
I've got Eric Laurie on the pole position in that 71 truck. Sitting alongside him is Gabe Butler in the 88. In the second row, you've got Zachary Workman in the 19 and Joe Dellavecchia in the 0052, followed by Richard Sanchez in the 510, Cody Nagels in the 6. Robert Jordan's in the 7th position in that 74 truck. Alongside him is Dude Conrad, who we talked about a little bit ago, in the 8. In ninth position, Robert Rock in the 171, and Brian Boussard is in 10th position in the 745.
Jorge Racone is in the 28 in the 11th slot. 12th is Bob Fitzgerald in the 08. And in 13th, Eric Fielder in the 111. And in 14th, Brian Rainville in the 60. On the inside, at the tail end of the field, Todd Siebel's in the 45. And on his outside, Dean Wilkinson in the 55.
Yeah, some of these guys, I think, choose to start at the back of the field so they don't qualify. So then iRacing will put them automatically behind the folks that do qualify. And it gives them a chance to start at the back of the field, kind of feel their truck out, not worry about getting loose or tight or spinning and causing a big pile up. They can kind of feel everything out back there. A lot of times if guys don't get enough practice time, they'll do that. Or some guys just like running in the back at the beginning.
Well, right now we are waiting for this formation lap, and the competitors are getting off onto the racing surface.
Atlanta's an interesting speedway because it races very similar to what Daytona and Talladega do, but yet it's considerably different at the same time. You do have to have some throttle control at this track, where Daytona and Talladega, you're pretty much, at least the leaders anyway, your foot is buried the whole time. Guys behind them have to kind of play with the throttle. But here, even in the lead, now I don't know if these guys can do it or not, but I cannot. If I'm running at the front of the pack, I still have to lift going into the corner some. It's just, it's a little too sketchy for me, but my abilities don't quite stack up to some of these guys.
Well, I think we'll, as always, these guys put on a great show, and we're expecting that tonight. Eric Laurie in that 071 truck, that John Deere Chevy, is your control vehicle. He's the control truck for tonight, and so everybody will go on him. Pace truck is making its way off of turn 4. And green flag, we're underway here at Atlanta.
I love it. He got a nice jump there, Eric Laurie did in that 071. But Gabe Butler keeping right up with him and getting a little bit of a run on the outside there. I thought he was going to be able to pull up alongside him there. Looked like the guys staying pretty much in their respective lines, although it looks like we had a couple people bail out for that outside line, which is a little unusual. Now that may have dropped back down. It's hard to tell that they get broken up there in the middle.
So far, so good in our first couple laps here. We can see this wheel side by side, continue making their way around. Gabe Butler is on that outside, controlling the outside line. Eric Lewis still is there at the front of that inside line. Behind him, got the 19 Zach Greenberg on the outside of Zach. You've got the 052 of Joe Della Vecchia in that Nestle Quick Chevy. Behind Zach, the 510 of Richard Sanchez.
One of the things you see here at Atlanta, you can see by looking at it, it's a 3-groove racetrack. You've got that inside lane that the 071 is in right now, and then you've got that middle lane, which is where Gabe Butler's running. But you can run 3 wide here, but it's dicey when you start running 3 wide here at Atlanta.
Definitely a little hairy. Oh, there was contact. Conrad, I think, slammed that outside wall a bit. We're still under green. We did not catch a yellow there. Back and he's kind of off the pace a little bit here. He's falling back. He's got some right side damage, I'm sure.
Yeah, these guys at the back are going to need to tighten things up, or somebody's going to end up losing the draft.
Yeah, you can
hopefully
see there's
can get there.
There's some significant damage to the outside of the 8. You'll see as he comes by here.
Yeah.
He's taking off
And
some paint.
You can tell he's off the pace too. He's already dropping back and looks like he's about to lose the draft.
All right, up back at the front, the 071 continues to lead that low line with the 88 of Gabe Butler is on that high side with the 052 of Della Vecchia pushing him.
Zachary Workman sticking his nose in there, trying to stay relevant. He's up in that third spot now in the 19 RBN truck. Yeah, it's like we've got two groups already, only 7 laps in. And we've got this first pack of 7 or 8 trucks, and then that drops back. We have a little bit of a gap for the rest of them.
You see that 08 truck has lost nearly half a lap after that incident with the wall. So he definitely has some damages coming down pit road now to get some work done.
Yeah, you hate to see that happen so early in the race. Let's see if he does a quick repair or if he...
Yep. Just saw that damage disappear.
Yeah. That's the beauty of what the way iRacing has designed this. And then the race host has the prerogative to decide. Do you get any quick repairs? Do you get 1? Do you get 5? These guys are kind of in there in the middle. It's nice because with a quick repair, if somebody has a problem early, like our driver just did, then they can go in. They can choose to go in, use that quick repair, and not lose too much time and be racy again.
So you saw the 052 was a little loose coming out going to 1 and 2 there, so a little bit of a twitch, that 052 on the outside. The 19 of Workman has now moved his way up to the outside. The 88 of Butler has dropped down on that low line for the 071 of Lori.
That Nesquik car got loose coming through there. He got really wiggly. There he does it again.
That's what I was just talking about. That's Joe Della Vecchia, a little bit wiggly. His setup is maybe not quite as tight, a little bit loose, and unfortunately it shows, especially as you're coming out of these corners. Coming out of 2 and 4, you can play the most havoc with how that truck is set up.
Yep, you're having to straighten. You're in the corner, and as you come out of that corner, you're straightening the wheel, and at the same time, the weight is changing on the truck because the track flattens out.
There's a little bit of contact. You saw, it looks like the
Yeah.
The 071 kind of came up and may have got into the door of 19. If it wasn't, it was darn close.
Yeah, one of the things we could mention is that these trucks run what we call an open setup. So they can make the same adjustments on these trucks as your real-life NASCAR drivers can make on theirs. iRacing's done a great job at how they've set these trucks or how they've designed them. So each driver can set up his own truck the way he likes it. Some like a truck that's loose. Some like a truck that's a little bit tighter. Some want it just 100% equally balanced. So it's all up to the driver. They can set it up any way they want, but the thing is the truck handles differently in traffic because you're getting all that air pushed back from the other trucks in front of you. So the further you are back in the field, the more that air can disrupt you.
Another adjustment these drivers can do with these trucks, just like the regular truck series, is they have the ability to put tape on the front of their truck to prohibit some of the airflow through the engine, which it sounds counterintuitive, but it actually will increase the speed of that truck. So the downside of that is with less airflow, that engine runs a little hotter, and with not enough airflow, you can cook your engine pretty quick.
Absolutely. When they add that tape to the grill, cover up that opening, it also is more frontal area, so you get a little bit more downforce on the truck. So sometimes if your truck is tight and it's trying to push out towards the wall during the turn, sometimes a little bit of tape is all it takes to get that a little more comfortable for you.
You just saw that 052 of Joe Della Vecchia. If you watch that yellow Nesquik Chevy on the outside, you'll see as he's coming out of turn 4 here, a little bit of movement back and forth. You see some movement as well with the 071. You see some right side damage on that 071. He's definitely gotten into something, whether that was the wall or another truck.
We're 16 laps in. We are a little over halfway in a fuel run. So I was talking to a couple of drivers prior to the race. They figure somewhere in the neighborhood 29 to 30 laps on a fuel run. They could stretch that a little if they need to. We'll see what happens there. And if we can run green, we'll go all the way to about lap 30 before we see these guys coming in. And now that I've said that, they'll all pop in about lap 27 or 28.
Well, we're always hoping for green flag runs and green flag pit stops. It makes for the most exciting bit of racing as these drivers go from 170 plus miles per hour down to 55 in just about one turn. Unfortunately, the leaders have now caught up to Dude Conrad, and he's going to go down now 2 laps down to the field. But that being said, if there's a caution that comes out, he's the only car a lap down. He will get at least his first lap.
And now that he's caught in the middle of the pack, he'll be able to keep up with everybody and retain the position close to where he is right now, and not worry about losing the draft again.
So thank you for tuning in tonight. This is our Tuesday night series here with the Super Speedway Kings on the IWM broadcast event each and every night. Our Tuesday night event here is Super Speedway King series, and they are at Super Speedways, Talladega, Daytona, and the Mini Super Speedway here at Atlanta. Our Wednesday night series is the Tech for Troops Cup Series. They're kind of on, they're in a refinement window now. They just finished up their second season, and they're in between their second and third season, which starts in about 7 more weeks. And we look forward to bringing them back on each and every Wednesday night.
That is a fun series to watch. They a lot of good drivers in that series as well, just like in this series. And racing that next gen Cup car, it's a little bit more difficult to drive than these trucks. So a lot of skill going into that, a lot of practice for the guys that really run well. But try to come out and watch those on Wednesday evenings. Gabe Butler showing us the way here, doing a good job. He's remained up front for all of these 22 laps, bouncing around between first and second position most of the time. He's got the lead right now down there in that black truck on the inside lane. Gabe's one of the top runners.
If you're a fan of Guinness beer, Gabe's your man.
He is, isn't he?
So the 19 of Zachary Workman is dominating that and running in the front of that outside line. The 052 of Joe Della Vecchia is tucked in behind him. You got the 28 of Jorge Rincon behind him on the outside. They're the only cars right now, I think, that are on that outside line. The rest of the field is running that lower line around this track.
Talking about Gabe Butler in that 88, Gabe's usually running at the front of the standings or up near the front. He's a little back so far this season. He's running in 5th position. He's about, about 91 points out of the lead, which is held by Zachary Workman. But Gabe has run 2 fewer races. Everybody else has 8 races under their belt. And unfortunately for Gabe, he's only been able to run 6 so far. Is pretty good on his part.
All right, we are at lap 25 of 94.
Coming up now, 26 laps in. We're approaching those fuel stops. We ought to be, everybody plays it nice and safe. You can see that inside line really forming up now. The inside line's getting long. Hardly anybody running that outside group, just that one truck right at this point. And that's because it's so much easier to pit from that inside lane. So I have a feeling in the next lap or two, we're going to see these guys coming in.
I think that's Jorge Rincon that was dropped up on the outside. He's still looking for a way to come down. There's some space behind Dude Conrad. We'll see if he ducks into that position. But the 88 continues to show us the way around. The 071 of Eric Rory is right behind him, and we'll begin to see some of these guys looking to drop off, and probably at this point they'll take a full fuel and 4-tire stop.
Yeah, was talking again with some of the drivers prior to the race, and they were saying that 2 tires here at Atlanta is a lot more risky than it is at Daytona or Talladega. That your car can get pretty wiggly, pretty loose. It gets really slick out there on mismatched tires. So I think we'll see most of these guys. Yep, they peel off now. Most of these guys will take 4 tires. We'll watch the leaders as they come in.
Pretty much the entire field. About 4 drivers stayed out. Sanchez, Nagels, Rincon, Fielder stayed out. Duke Conrad also stayed out. But you're right. All the mile and a halfs it seems on iRacing, Vegas, here in Atlanta, Charlotte, and others tend to be a little bit sketchy when just taking 2 tires.
Yep. Just saw all those trucks. Oh, Gabe Butler only took 2.
He sure did.
He was able to jump back out there quickly.
That's an 11.7
we didn't get to see what the other guys did,
stop.
But
everybody else was a 4-tire stop.
Wow. That's an interesting choice on his part. I know Gabe's he's not a dumb driver by any means, so he's got a reason for doing that. I'm just not sure if he thought some guys would take 2, so he didn't want to lose track position, but he's out there.
His truck may be set up so that it works good for him.
Yeah, that's true too. That's one of the interesting things about open setups. You've got a lot of leeway. You can set yourself up for the long run, the short run. And I think last time here at Atlanta we had 3 caution periods as this next group comes in. So far tonight we're a third of the way through the race and no cautions yet. We had one little incident with Dude Conrad hitting the wall. But other than that, it's been a very, very clean race so far.
Right, it's Richard Sanchez, Cody Nagels, and Jorge Rincon currently on pit road right now, making their stop. You can see that there was a right side tire change and now a left
side there, yeah.
So all these drivers, all 3 of them, Sanchez, Nagels, Rincon, all took 4 tires and a full tank of Sunoco fuel.
They're going to end up, the group that pitted first had a good run on those guys, so they'll fall in about the middle of the pack. Hopefully they can stay up there. That green flag pit stop, we didn't get near as much separation as we do sometimes. These guys came back out all still pretty close together. The first top 10 are within 2 seconds from front to back. So then it slips a little bit after that, but still able to stay pretty much in that lead group. Hopefully that some of those guys at the end, you see Boussard, Fieldler, and Siebels, a little bit of a gap back to them, but hopefully they can catch that up and be back in that lead draft again. Joe Della Vecchia up at the front of the pack. Saw Gabe Butler go to the outside there. Now he's going to get a good push from that 55 of Dean Wilkinson.
See, the 60 of Brian Rainbow's made his way up. He is now running in the 4th slot. Joe Della Vecchia now leads. We got Eric Flory, Zachary Workman, Brian Rainville, Robert Rock, Richard Sanchez, Cody Nagels, Gabe Butler, Dean Wilkinson, and Jorge Rincon. That is your top 10.
So far tonight, this has been fairly uneventful. That's good for all the drivers in the series. It's nice to be able to see them run a nice, clean race. So far, I don't want to jinx it, but so far,
that's the broadcaster's curse. We talk about how great and how safe and how uneventful the event is, and then the large wreck on the backstretch.
Yep, I've cursed these guys a few times doing that, talking about how nice it is and how great they're doing, and then somebody will slip up a little bit. And boy, when you're running this close together at 185 miles an hour, it does not take very much to cause a big problem.
So, speaking of that, we ride on board with maybe Cody Nagels. Let's see if we can give our viewers a chance to see just what it looks like.
Yeah, I love these in-car cameras. They really show you what the driver is seeing. And you can really take a look inside at how much these trucks move around on the truck. You can see that RBN truck, that's not moving a lot right now. But boy, when you've got that wheel in your hands, you feel every little movement. And the air off of that RBN truck is affecting Cody Nagels. As you can see slight adjustments in the steering wheel there. You can see it in his hands as he makes those slight adjustments to try to stay directly behind that RBN truck. I think it's funny because I have done it in the past. When you run in the draft early in your racing career, sometimes you tend to try to follow the truck too closely. So if he moves to the right, you move to the right. And then they're moving so fast, you can't stay with him, so you're always following him. So it's like you can never get matched up. He goes to the right, and then a half a second later, you go to the right, and about then he's starting to come back to the left. And they look like a giant centipede out there weaving back and forth.
It's a bit of a checkup in that lane. You're in the 6 of Nagels, actually back up out of the throttle a bit. That tends to happen in pack racing. Those cars who are not at the front have to feather their throttle a bit to stay in line, and because it's something with the truck in front of you in the pack, they're moving that air around you. Your engine does not have to work as hard to maintain the same speed, so therefore you actually have to carefully adjust your throttle to stay right there on the bumper of the truck in front of you, whereas if you're out front, you are pedal to the metal as you drive your truck around the track.
That 55 truck there of Dean Wilkinson, I think he made just a little bit of contact with that outside safer barrier a little bit ago. All of a sudden, got a little wiggle to him, and he dropped down to that inside line and lost a couple positions. It seems like he's stabilized now, but we'll have to keep an eye on him and see if he can keep up with everybody else.
That 510 truck drive, that's the 510 of Richard Sanchez, actually was that kind of encroached a bit on that on the 052 and the 071 there. Truck got a little bit loose.
That's something that'll get your attention in a hurry when you're going through a turn at 185 miles an hour and all of a sudden the back end wants to swap at the front end.
All right, lap 43 in the books. We're rapidly approaching halfway here at Atlanta with the Super Speedway Kings, brought to you by the IWM Broadcast Network. We thank you for tuning in tonight.
Guys, not quite halfway into their second fuel run. I'm interested to see if some of these guys try to stretch it out. It's possible. It'd be difficult, but it's possible to do this in 3 fuel runs, so 2 pit stops. If they can drag this next one out to, let's say, lap 64 or 65, they might be able to make it. But the more likely scenario is they stay green. They come in somewhere around that lap 60 mark, and then they'll need just a splash and go at some point during that last run.
Now that all changes if during that process there's a caution that happens to come out, but we'll along with the weight truck is on that outside there. That's Bob Fitzgerald in that red 08.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's
down.
Okay, that's what prompted him being in that outside lane. He was out there all by himself. I couldn't figure out why. Well, he was getting out of everybody's way.
All right, Joe Del Vecchio continues to show us the way. He's got the 510 of Richard Sanchez on the outside. Both of those yellow trucks continue to lead us around here in Atlanta. The Super Speedway Kings.
Yeah, yellow seems to be the color of speed tonight. These guys have been up front quite a bit. You still see Gabe Butler up there along with that 071 of Eric Laurie.
That's actually the 60 of Brian Rainville in that UPS truck on that outside. He's right behind the 510. Gabe slipped back a little bit. He's right now running in 8th.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if he's trying to conserve fuel.
The 28 of Oriel Rincon in the man in black car, truck rather, looks very similar to Gabe's Guinness truck.
All right.
A lot of these trucks are really loose.
Yeah, they are. A lot of movement in the corners. Whoa. See that UPS truck get up near the safer barrier there. Eric Laurie running.
He's got a good run behind the
the
510, but there's a lot of movement. These guys are getting close to having contact.
Yeah, to keep that run going, you've got to stay in the throttle through the corner, and that just causes that truck to get more loose. And so if you're loose already and you do that, then that's going to make it difficult to handle in those corners.
Well, we're past the halfway point. That's lap 50 of 94. All these drivers pitted around lap 28 and 31. So if you assume that there's about 30 laps approximately per fuel run, that should put them around lap 58 to come back to get more fuel. And as Jeff said, can you go another 30 laps? Well, that's 88 with 94. It's possible, but not probable.
I think that they've intentionally set that the race length just beyond reach, normal reach anyway. So if you get several yellow flags, then all of a sudden it's doable. But if you stay green the entire race, I don't see anybody being able to do it.
So at that point, you'll probably see some guys short pitting. They'll come in when they've got enough fuel in the tank to top off. You'll see some strategy games being played. I suck at those.
I did too.
We'll watch these guys and we'll speculate. We'll probably get it wrong, but we'll do our best on what we're seeing and how we expect things to go. So here we are, lap 53 of 94, 42 laps to go. Richard Sanchez in the 510 on that outside continues to show us the way. Joe Del on the low side. Those two yellow trucks have been swapping the lead back and forth. Brian Rainville is the 510 pusher on the outside. The 071 of Eric Laurie continues to be behind Joe Della.
Right now, Bob Fitzgerald in that 08 truck is our first truck 1 lap down. Should we get a caution, he'll be able to get that lap back as long as he's not involved in the caution. And then Dude Conrad still running back there 2 laps down after that little mishap early in the race where he got a little too close to that outside safety barrier and had just a little too much damage to be able to keep pace. It's amazing what one crinkled fender can do to the speed of your truck on these drafting tracks like these super speedways and mini super speedways.
So as you can see from the track now, the main pack, including those lapped cars, are making their way around in one group, and then further on back there's a 3-car group. That's Fielder, Broussard, and Siebels, who are about a half a lap behind this group. They're hoping for a caution that comes out that doesn't involve them.
Yeah, they're just slipping further and further back. They were 12 seconds, now they're 13 seconds behind. And that's just going to keep adding up lap after lap after lap unless they can get caught up during a pit stop or do some sort of strategy to get back in the mix again. Yeah, we talked early in the race about Dude Conrad. Could he get his lap back? Here they are, breaking first group, breaking in for the pits on lap 57.
7:45 of Brian Broussard locking it up to try and get down to that 55 mile per hour speed. The 45 of Todd Siebels also coming in. These guys will be pitting slightly early, but we expect
it
to
looks
see
like
more
just
in.
the 2 of them.
Joe Della now coming in. Brian Rainville is also in. Expect to see full stops, 4 tires and fuel.
That 60 truck taking on right sides there. Still fueling up, and left side's going on right now.
That's Brian Rainville. He is off.
Driving through a lot of pit lanes on pit boxes on his way out.
Yeah. So we're expecting to see the rest of the field begin to make their way down at some point.
Gabe Butler seems to have slipped back even a little more now. Let's see, is he coming in with this group?
Yes.
Yes. But he's going to have to take 4 tires here. He doesn't really have a choice, I don't think, since he only took 2 that first time.
Looks like Gabe's got a little bit of right side damage, but
yeah, that back quarter there.
all these trucks, you can see the 071's got some right side damage. The 88 has some right side damage.
Yep, all those trucks there took 4 tires.
As did Gabe. He's back out with 4 tires. All right, so that leaves Jorge Rincon and Cody Nagels still out, and Dude Conrad are the only 3 trucks who have not come in and have not pitted as of yet.
Yep, I know Dude was hoping and praying for a caution there where he could gain one of his laps back that way. But if he doesn't get it here soon, then he's going to have to pit and still remain 2 laps down. I'm guessing that Gabe Butler in that 88 truck, having only taken 2 tires on that first pit stop, that's probably what was causing him to slip back in the pack there towards the end of that run. That left set of tires was probably just really starting to give up on him. 28 truck coming in now.
You were following the 6 of Cody Nagels. He pitted last on lap 31. And he is looking to make this a one-stop finish here. He stretches out everything he's got here.
He is trying. Boy, that's tough when you're out there by yourself, though, because you lose probably 4 seconds a lap around this track. Here he comes now. But he's little to speed when he crosses the line. It'll be 64. He can make it to the end, but probably not enough for a green-white checker if that were to come about.
Yeah, he is also slightly off pitting times and lap times than his competitors. We'll see how that all plays out. He's now going to get out and get up to speed so he doesn't go a lap down.
Yep, went with 4 tires and fuel. Going to get back out there. Hopefully can get up to speed in time to merge with that pack. Whoops, nope, they got around him.
Well, that's not bad. That's kind of expected since he wound up staying out a little bit longer than they did. So
okay,
but that does put him somewhere around 7th as he's getting back out there. What he needs to get is a drafting partner. That 28, who he was running with before, is coming up behind him.
Yeah, I think we'll see these guys meet up. Yeah, they'll pair up, and yeah, there's Jorge's getting in behind him, going to give him a push, and see if these 2 guys can make their way back up to that lead pack. Fortunately, they're not too far back.
No, they're definitely playing the long game here. They're they're hoping that they can actually make it on the fuel that they've got. So
yeah, they've got to get up. The sooner they can get up with that pack and start saving fuel. Right now, they're definitely Cody's running wide open, and Jorge's probably running pretty close to wide open. Here they got the that 55 and Dean Wilkinson trying to catch them. Looks like he's going to get up there.
I think that's the same reason why you saw that 6 bail out. He knows if he's going to make this, he can't be the guy pushing you and breaking through and cutting through that air. He's going to be being towed around by the guys in front of him.
Yep.
So 28 laps to go here in Atlanta with the Super Speedway Kings. It's our Tuesday night truck series here on the IWM Broadcast Network. We thank you for tuning in.
This has been a very good but very different race. Last time in Atlanta we had 3 cautions. This time we're 68 laps in, have not had a caution flag yet. So it's interesting because it allows these trucks the chance to get separated a little bit. Right now you're watching a 3-truck run. But these guys are in, where are we now? 7th, 8th, and 9th in the group. So you've got 6 trucks in front of them in the lead pack, about 7 seconds in front of them. So these guys have some work to do to try to catch up, and now they're not really running in a close formation, which is slowing them down even more.
Well, back up at the front, Richard Sanchez in that 510 shows us the way. Eric Laurie behind him, the 071, and behind him, 19 of Zachary Workman, and Gabe Butler is sitting in 4th. Behind Gabe right there, the 171 of Robert Rock and the 60 of Brian Rainbow.
Yeah, these guys running single file right now, and I'm going to guess that their mentality is they're trying to pull away from that 3-truck group of Wilkinson, Rincon, and Nagels. Try to put some distance between them. 6 trucks, if they can get tightened up a little bit more, can definitely run faster than that 3-truck group. And these guys put a little distance, and then they don't have as much competition at the end. But all 6 of these trucks are, I think, probably 98% certain they're going to have to hit one more time.
"24 laps to go here in Atlanta." But you're right, it's going to come down to really, I believe that we should probably start seeing around lap 20 some short pitting. We'll see these guys come down, take fuel only, head right back out.
Yeah, any time now they'll take on plenty of fuel to make it to the end. It's just a matter of when do they want to stop and take that fuel. So much goes into this other than just drive. Oh, here they go. You called it. They decided now was the time. Boy, that 19 truck there, Zachary Workman, had a little difficulty getting woed up, but is able to get it under control and come down pit lane. You hardly ever see a speeding limit violation with these guys. They're very, very good at getting on and off pit road, which is very difficult to do.
All right, so these guys are pretty much all in and out. Fuel only.
Yep, little splash and go, and it hadn't been that many laps since they stopped, so it doesn't take very long to fill that tank back up.
And that 510 was definitely flirting with the blend line there as he came off of pit road. Hopefully iRacing is good to him and lets him continue without getting a black flag. That happens very often as you see a truck come off pit road. There is a blend line as you have to stay below there. There's a blue cone that's out there that says do not enter onto a racing surface until you pass that blue cone, that blue line. And sometimes you can make a mistake. It happens.
Yep. As you're coming off pit road, you're accelerating. You're trying to get your truck up to speed as fast as you can, but you're still in the middle of a turn at that point. If you accelerate too much, then you're going to either get loose and spin your truck, or that front nose is going to push up, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a cone violation without even trying.
So our leader is Brian Rainville right now out in front. Brian pitted last on lap 57. He's got the 28 of Jorge Rincon behind him and the 6 of Cody Nagels. Those guys pitted last on lap 62 and 63 respectfully. So Brian, he is definitely going to come down along with Brian Boussard, Todd Siebels, Edward Fielder probably will also take on some fuel. Robert Jordan in the 74. Those guys all pitted last in the high 50s. Joe Della Vecchia pitted last on lap 57. Bob Fitzgerald 58, but those guys are a lap or so down. So your first truck a lap down is Joe Della Vecchia. If something happens, he'll be able to get that lap back. But right now, we're focused on Brian Rainville out here leading our Atlanta race here for the Super Speedway Kings.
I have a feeling Brian's not going to text us while he's in the lead. He's going to keep both hands on the wheel and pay attention to what's going on. It's good to see him running up at the front. I'm going to put my money right now on Cody Nagels. If he can make it, I mean, it's been a very clean race so far. Chances of a green-white checker are a little slimmer than they might be otherwise. But I think he's got enough fuel to make it to the end. But running at the front of that group of 3 trucks is not where he wants to be right now. I think he'd rather be he is in the back of that 3 group. Sorry, I read the numbers, saw the 60, and all I saw was the 6.
So the challenge he faces is that right now he's got some folks out in front moving that air, and he's able to be a little bit more conservative with his throttle. But those trucks are probably going to have to drop off in front of him. For sure, Brian Rainville, he was in on lap 57. Jorge Rincon, 62. They may have enough fuel to make it. It'll be on fumes. He's going to have to be out there all by himself.
Yeah,
Now,
that's going to allow that the rest of that pack to catch him, and any gain that he makes could be lost at that point.
So interestingly enough, so it's around 32 seconds, 31 seconds around this track at full throttle. To get off pit road, make your stop, and get back on the track, fuel only, is around 35 seconds. So there's a chance, and how I'm guessing, if I was Cody Nagels, if I'm thinking, you know what, I've got just enough fuel, I am going to have to run out here by myself for a little bit. But if I've got about a 30-second cushion on these guys, I can probably not run full speed. I can kind of feather that throttle a bit, back off my pace a bit, and not consume as much fuel for my last lap. So he's got potentially an ability to try and save some fuel towards the end, but it's going to be a gamble. We'll see how it all plays out with 13 laps to go.
Yeah, you see, he's staying very tucked in up under that 28 truck. And by doing that, it's allowing him to use less fuel, like you were talking about earlier. The tighter he stays, then the more he can kind of ease off on that throttle and let that truck in front of him tow him around the track. If as a group, if the two of them could get up onto that 60 trucks bumper, then that would make it even a little better for Cody.
Right now, this group has nearly a 6-second advantage over the 745 of Broussard and Siebels and Fielder. Behind them, the next pack of Sanchez, Butler, Rock, and Workman and Jordan are nearly half a lap back. Corey as well. They're about 15 or so seconds further on back. So there's even a little bit of cushion there. So this could be interesting with coming up to 10 laps to go.
Yeah, I love the way these races play out when they go green for the majority, or in this case, all the race so far. It's only 10 laps to go. It's going to start getting dicey here. I think you'll see these three guys really stay in line, because that's what their success is built on, is
Ryan
being
Broussard,
able to.
Todd Siebels and Bob Fitzgerald have all come on to pit road. Todd Siebels, no caution has come out, but Todd Siebels may have had some contact with the wall off track. But no caution, no caution.
Well, here we are with 9 to go, and normally we really see, when these guys are running in a pack, we really see a lot of movement right now, because they're all jockeying for position. They want to get their truck right where they need it for that last lap or two. But with this scenario, it's not.
Yep.
Not the same thing happening. Looks like that truck's peeling off there. That 60 truck's getting on pit road, and boy, I don't think he got slowed down enough.
We'll have to check in with Brian. He definitely was hot onto pit road. He's getting a splash of fuel and getting back out. Barely stopped there.
Yep.
He's back out. You've also got Robert Jordan.
Oh, what's he doing? Oh, there. That 60 truck of Brian Rainville stopped in one pit box and then moved right away and went up to another one.
Well, that's going to hurt Brian.
Yep, 28 and the 6 are still doing well out there. 7 to go. I kind of doubt we're going to see them pit now.
That group behind them, I believe, is a lap down, trying to catch up. That's the 052 and the 55.
Yep, you're right. They are a lap down.
Go
probably on.
52 is now coming onto pit road. That's the 55 and the 111.
See Cody Nagels drop down and get with that next group.
Oh, no, that was for position.
28.
The 111 was for position. That's Edward Fielder. But he has not pitted since lap 59, so there's a chance he is also looking to get some fuel. There he goes, now onto pit road. And we're kind of biting our nails a bit here, wondering if Cody Nagels, who's now shown out in front, can hang on to this. He's got the 55. That 55 is driven by Dean Wilkinson, who pit on lap 74, so he does not have to pit. That 28 of Rincon is pretty last on lap 62. He's stretching it out, but now he's out there by himself. Kind of lost the draft a bit from the 6th. With 4 laps to go now here at the stripe.
This is right about the point where Cody Nagels, every time that truck takes a little bit of a bump, he's going, was that fuel or was that a bump in the track? You start to feel everything and start to wonder when you're going to get bit. But so far so good for Cody Nagels.
So Brian Rainbow did just reply, and yeah, he caught a penalty coming down onto pit road.
Yep. Yeah, we saw that and saw that, boy, he hit that pit entrance pretty hot, locked it up, got a little sideways there, and probably didn't get it woed up in time to get down to that 55-mile-an-hour limit. With 3 laps to go, Cody Nagels is still out there. I think he's committed. And with these two guys, Cody, they don't have to work against each other. Cody can just ride right there till they get to the checkered flag, because that 55 truck is a lap down.
He is actually on the 55 is actually at the tail end of the lead lap.
You're right, tail end of the lead lap. That's Dean Wilkinson in that truck.
So this strategy may pay off for Cody Nagels with 2 laps to go. He's about to come down here and take the white flag. Final lap here in Atlanta. We are a battle of the fuel economy here, and Cody Nagels may have played this out correctly. He's got that 55 in front of him that's helping him get across.
Yeah, Gabe Butler now only 4 seconds back, and he's knocking it down pretty quickly. But I don't know if it's going to be fast enough. It's here they come to the stripe.
There we go. He made it.
Yep. Cody Nagels wins it on a fuel mileage strategy. Great job there, Cody Nagels. Good Missouri boy.
He's out of gas. He is out of gas.
That is amazing.
Cody Nagels crossed the finish line and ran out of gas.
Very smart driving on his part. That's something else that he's able to do that. The only downside to it is now he won't be able to do a burnout.
He's not
this way.
No, he turned off the truck. Sorry about that. I was watching his tachometer. So he turned off the truck, so he may have.
Oh yeah, he's going to try to do one here.
Nope. Now he's out of gas.
Yeah.
He's got something.
Oh, there he goes. This will burn what little he has left up in a hurry, though.
Yeah, there's not much left.
So Cody Nagels brings it home in first place, Gabe Butler in second, and Mr. Sanchez brings it home in third place. Great job, Richard.
Yep, let's go ahead and grab those official standing and official results. All right, there you go. As you indicated, Cody Nagels is your winner. Gabe Butler in second, Richard Sanchez in third, Eric Laurie in fourth, Robert Rock, Jorge Rincon, Dean Wilkinson, Edward Fielder, Todd Siebels, Zachary Workman. That's your top 10. Jude Conrad finishes in 11th. Joe Delavecchia 12th. Brian Rainville in 13th. Bob Fitzgerald, Brian Broussard, Robert Jordan, and
Yeah, I thought we had more than that to start with. Thought we had 18, but maybe it was just the 16.
there we go. All right, so there we go. There is our finish, and we hope to get Mr. Sanchez in the booth. We'll see where we. Now those drivers are still finishing up. Well, this is so typical of what we see each and every week here with the Super Speedway Kings. Fabulous racing, great skills, and strategy. Whether it's pit stops, tires, um, just an overall um, calculated victory for Cody Nagels, and just pushing it. If you could gain an extra lap or two in the first stop, push that and gain an extra lap or two for the second stop, you can make it to lap 94.
You really can. It was a great demonstration of a smart race strategy by Cody Nagels to get there the way he did. That's I think the first time we've seen that in a while lately. But this is also the first race that we've covered in quite a while that went green the entire distance. So no green white checkers. No, they had a few little bumps against the safer barrier here and there, or bumps against each other, but everybody kept their trucks under control and was able to keep the racing green flag the entire distance of the race. So it was exciting. It was a very different race. Last time we mentioned that we had 3 caution periods here at Atlanta. The last time we were here, in fact, you and I had the opportunity to race with those guys in that race. Rick, you did
Yep.
well. Finished on a lead lap. I unfortunately not quite. I was down in that Robert Jordan area, 4 laps down, but it was still a lot of fun. These guys are all great drivers, do a great job at these super speedways, and so for me, it was a great learning experience to get a chance, since we weren't broadcasting, to run with them that night.
Let's see if we can bring the 510 of Richard Sanchez in to the broadcast booth. Let's see if he's available. Mr. Sanchez, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
That was a race of no cautions and lots of strategy.
Yeah, Cody took that chance on the saving gas, and it worked out for him this time.
Well,
It
go ahead,
it
Jeff.
really did. You were up front all night long, Rick. What was the secret to being able to stay up there?
The people around me. That's it. If everybody holds the line, and you pretty much stay right where you're at. It's kind of hard to go around too wide here.
Yeah.
You got to have somebody really good to go 3 wide here, and then you got to have a bunch of guys below you really good. So.
Yep.
Well, we were glad to, we saw some great racing early on, very little incidents, and of course, Atlanta's kind of it's a 1.5-mile track. Yeah, it sets up like a super speedway because you get now with the reconfiguration, you get lots of speed, but you've really got to have your truck set up. You really do.
Well, that, and you got to manage your tires. You can't go around here full speed unless you're the leader, and so you got to let off a little bit, and then you'll save some tires. But
Any
everybody has to deal with that. So
yeah, any shout outs tonight while you're here?
just Super Speedway Kings, you guys here for doing the broadcast. You always do a super job at that, and the Bootnaka guys who let me run with them. Appreciate you guys.
All right, well, hang around if you like. We're going to bring in Gabe Butler to the booth. We'll see if Gabe's
Copy that.
available. Gabe, welcome to the booth. Sorry to pull you out of your team meeting, but congratulations on your second place finish.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun, caution free. Can't ask for much more than that.
Well, when you run
Yeah,
caution free like that, it completely changes the complexion of the race. You're definitely looking towards fuel and strategy and tires. And we thought early on, did you do a stop where you took only right side tires?
I did. I was taking a chance. I was seeing if I could gap the field, but they came out with 4 tires and they tracked me down like pretty easy. It takes about 10 laps for the tires. When you take rights, it's really loose and it takes about 10 laps for them to equalize before you get back up to speed. So that didn't work out.
we noticed that on the at the end of that fuel run, after you took the 2 tires, it seemed like you were starting to drop back a little bit. You were running back, maybe 7th or 8th, and you'd been up front all night. Was that a result of the tires, or were you just backing off to get a little bit of a breather?
No, it was because of the tires, because I was getting really loose and I hadn't quite done 10 laps by the time they caught me. And when they did, when somebody got behind me, I was really getting loose. I was really fighting it. So I said, I'll just get out of the way here and wait for the tires to come back. And they did. And I just decided to hang at the back instead of burning them up
Okay.
again.
Yeah, perfectly. A wise move there. If for those people who do run events here with iRacing in the truck, this is the way that this reconfiguration has occurred. You can burn up some tires pretty quick trying to go flat out here at Atlanta.
Oh yeah, I mean you can go flat out, but it will burn the right front off really quickly. And I mean you can save them by lifting and on entry and just easing back into the throttle on exit. But the pace was so fast tonight that you really had to stay in it most of the night. I mean Cody did a great job. He saved all his fuel on the first run. Without realizing it, and then he figured out pretty much halfway through the race he could probably make it. So he pulled a good one on us.
Yeah. So if you could get it at that first stop, if you can stretch it to 32 laps, like I
Mhm.
think he did, then it just becomes a math problem at that point for stop 2. So
Yeah, and I mean I'm not sure how much fuel he had left, but he had to be.
I think
He was.
it was fumes.
Yeah, he had to be
Yeah.
close, but I mean, but that's all you need, man. You just need to get across the
Yep.
line. They can sputter all at once. Then,
Yeah.
so
In fact, we were riding along with him as he crossed the finish line. I think he turned off his truck and coasted down the backstretch and then restarted it a bit, and you could hear it sputtering a bit. And he had just enough fuel to do a burnout. My guess is he is out of fuel, sitting right there at the start-finish line.
yeah. Well, I mean, good job on his part, man.
Yep.
I mean, got him to win, so fair play.
Yeah.
Gabe, any shout-outs tonight?
Quick shout out to my wife Jeannie, Kevin for hosting this and putting it on. Of course, you guys for doing your wonderful broadcast as usual, and all the guys are riding with tonight in the Team Bootknocker channel. It was a blast.
All right, let's go ahead and bring Mr. Nagels on board. Cody, welcome. Congratulations.
I appreciate it, Rick.
So we are all speculating. You go back and watch the broadcast. You'll hear us figuring out, doing our math, our cipher in here, whether you were going to make it or not. As you were looking for someone to push that air in front of you.
I think that's basically what it was gonna take. To be honest with you, I don't really think fuel strategy until it gets late in the race. And Gabe had mentioned, about 32 and a half laps is gonna be the best you can do. And I got to looking at my fuel and I was like, well, crap, if I can run this out and just stay in the pack and be patient, then I think I have a shot to possibly make it. And as it got closer, I was looking like I was about a lap to the good. So I just knew that I needed to save and stay behind somebody, but then Gabe's pack started catching me again, and I was like, well, we're going to have to pick up the pace here. So thankfully I had Dean in front of me, or this win wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah, we were noticing that the pack behind you that Gabe was leading was really starting to catch you a little faster each lap. And fortunately, this was a 94-lap race and not a 99-lap.
Yeah, it wouldn't have took but a couple more laps, and that strategy it not only wouldn't have paid off, but it would have made me have to rethink my strategy. I think the strategy I had may have been good for one more lap, and that's it. But
Well, yeah,
I'm
we heard you shut off the truck as you crossed the start finish. We figured you probably ran out of fuel at the start during your burnout.
Yeah, I did. I had like 0.35 left, I think, when I crossed, or maybe 0.4, just a little over a lap. So I was like, oh, all right, I'll just shut her down and see if I have enough for maybe a small burnout at the end.
Well, man, you took a big gamble and it paid off big. Congratulations.
Well, I do appreciate it. I had a lot of fun tonight. Good caution-free, clean race. Everyone,
Yep.
There's a lot of give and take, and I really enjoy running with this group.
Good.
Any shout-outs tonight, Cody?
Yeah, of course, I want to thank you guys, Rick and Jeff at IWM, for broadcasting and giving me something to watch back, and I want to thank Team Bootnaka for allowing me to run with them tonight.
All right, there you have it. There's your winner tonight, Cody Nagels, at the Super Speedway Kings series here at Atlanta. Next week, I'm thinking we're back at Talladega. Is that correct, guys?
Talladega. Yep.
I believe
All
so.
right.
All right,
Yeah.
back at Talladega, folks. Tune in next week, next Tuesday night, for the Super Speedway Kings at Talladega. Again, Cody Nagels is your winner. Gabe Butler in second. Richard Sanchez in third. We thank you so much for tuning into the IWM Broadcast Network, and we hope to see you next week. Thank you again. All right, good night, all.
Good night.
Good night, guys.